Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now, your #1 source for tips, tricks, and everything you need to know for Fantasy Premier League football. Today we're going to be going over some of the best transfer tips for Game Week 10, who to bring in, who to sell. We've got them all in today's video, so if you're excited for it, drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 25 likes. Leave a comment, who are you eyeing up this week? Subscribe if you're brand new. We're so close to 400 subscribers. Let's get into the video. So, starting things off, a player that is at the top of a lot of people's transfer targets list this week is Ben Chilwell. The Chelsea left back is in the form of his life, scoring 4 in 4, and seems to have claimed that spot back from Alonso, who isn't even having a bad season. It's just Chilwell cannot stop scoring, so you can't really leave him out of that Chelsea lineup at the moment. A lot of people are bringing him in. I think he's had over like 300,000 people bring him in this week, which is crazy. Now, something to think about though is that Chilwell is technically still a rotation risk. As I said, Alonso is still a very, very good player to have in that left wing back role. He still gets really forward, he scores goals, he gets assists. It's just Chilwell is playing a lot better at the moment. Something to keep in mind as well is that Chelsea have a cup game midweek against Southampton. So if Chilwell plays 90 minutes in that cup game this week, it's very unlikely that he'll start against Newcastle at the weekend, and Alonso will probably come in to fill that spot. But if Chilwell doesn't play midweek and Alonso plays instead, you're very likely to see Chilwell in the lineup at the weekend against Newcastle, which is a team that you want to play at the moment. Chelsea just put 7 past Norwich. Newcastle are a club that are struggling at the moment as well. You want Chilwell in that starting lineup because he is probably going to get you a nice clean sheet and hopefully some attacking returns as well, because he just keeps rewarding everyone that is bringing him in. The only bad thing about Chilwell at the moment though is even though he's scoring goals like in every single game, he's had like 4 in 4 now, including Premier League games and cup games, his XG and expected assists is actually quite low. His XG is only 0.6, meaning that he's not actually having that many shots. It's just the shots that he's having are going into the back of the net, which is of course what you want. But if he missed that shot at the weekend, would people still be bringing him in as much? I don't really know. His expected assist is even lower as well at 0.5. He hasn't got an assist this season. He is only owned by 12.2% of teams at the moment as well. So in my opinion, if you're under 15%, you are still technically a bit of a diffie. Like, not a lot of people do have them in their teams. But I mean, I think that's going to shoot up all the way through this week. We'll see what happens. Of course, if he does play midweek, he could get injured. You know, all these things happen, which is why I always stress, do not use your transfers at the start of the week. Just look what happened last week with Lukaku and Werner and stuff like that. Like, a lot of people brought them in at the start of the week. They both got injured, and then they had to sort that situation out at the end of the week, and you're just wasting points because you have to take hits in that situation. But yeah, Chilwell's fixtures are really, really nice coming up. They've got Newcastle away, then Burnley at home. You're expecting 2 clean sheets in both those games if he starts both of them. Leicester away, Chelsea may concede in that game, but it depends if like Jamie Vardy's fit and stuff, which he should be by game week 12. United at home, I mean, if Ollie's still at the wheel in game week 13, then I mean, that's a nice little clean sheet for for Chelsea there. Not being horrible to any United fans, but I mean, I think a lot of them will also agree that Ollie needs to go. And then Watford away in game week 14, a very nice fixture as well. So yeah, if Chilwell starts all 5 of those fixtures, I can see him getting 4 clean sheets easy, and hopefully an attacking return as well. He is a really, really nice player to have. Again, there is that slight rotation risk, but you're going to have that with Chelsea defenders like Rudiger. Well, not Rudiger. I'd say Rudiger's the most nailed, but then you've got like Chilwell, Azpilicueta, Reece James, Alonso. Like, any 4 of those could play because they're all really good players and they're all in form this season. So yeah, it is a little bit of an issue, but we'll have to see what happens with that. But yeah, Chilwell definitely a player you should think about bringing in. But of course, wait until the cup game, because if he plays midweek, he probably won't play against Newcastle at the weekend. Coming up next, we actually have Tielemans. Now, this is a player that's kind of going under a lot of people's radar, but is actually in really, really good form. He's only 6.4 mil at the moment, so very, very cheap midfield option. Like, if you can't upgrade to the likes of Mount, Foden, Grealish, Havertz, for example, Tielemans is a really, really nice option to have as well. He's scored 3 goals so far this season. All have been screamers, by the way. This guy is just, he doesn't score normal goals. He can only smash it in from like 30 yards out, I swear. He's also assisted 2 goals as well. He's only owned by 5.8% of players. His XG is 1.2. His expected assist is 2.7 as well, so he's creating a lot of chances. Leicester's fixtures get really, really nice as well after the Chelsea game. I mean, they've got Arsenal at home and then Leeds away. Both fixtures that you could see Leicester scoring in. Chelsea at home is the tough one, but then they've got Watford, Southampton, and then I think they've got even nicer games after that as well. So the Leicester fixtures are pretty good at the moment, and Tielemans just looks really, really good going forward. He seems to just be pushing forward so much more. Like I say, he's creating so many more chances. You can see in the stats, his expected assists assists a 2.7, XG 1.2. Yeah, and he scored 3 and assisted 2 so far this season. I can only see that getting higher and higher with the fixtures coming up as well. Jamie Vardy might be injured. We'll have to wait and see for press conferences and see what happens. Of course, if Vardy is injured, it does kind of hurt Tielemans a little bit because Vardy is just the finisher. But at the same time, you've got Daka, who's in fine form. So we'll have, hopefully he will still get a bunch of assists and goals as well. But yeah, Tielemans is a really, really good option if you don't have the money to upgrade to Mount, Foden, etc. Which is why I put him in today's video, because he's a good option. He's a good alternative. He's a diffie. So if he does pop off and gets like a double-digit haul or something, it's very, very nice for your team. So yeah, Tielemans is definitely a player you should be taking a look at as well. Coming up next, we have another Chelsea player, Mason Mount. Now this is a very, very knee-jerky player to bring in my opinion, but he's on this list today because so many people have brought him in, and you can't really, I don't know, you can't really avoid someone that's just got a hat trick. So yeah, Mount is a player that you should probably think about bringing in if Lukaku and Werner are both still out. And it's the same with Havertz as well. I'd put Havertz on this video as well to kind of go with Mount that you should bring in if you don't already, because he just got really, really unlucky at the weekend. Like Norwich beating them 7-0 and not getting any returns is just really, really unlucky. Like if you were going to say Chelsea were going to put 7 past Norwich and then number 9 was going to be involved in absolutely 0 of their goals, you'd laugh at them in the face. Like 7 goals, you'd expect the number 9 to get like 3 of them. But that's just really, really unlucky. And that's how football works sometimes. But Mason Mount is obviously just coming off the back of a hat-trick. Expected goals 2.7, expected assists 2.1. He's scored 3, obviously he's got 2 assists so far, and he's owned by 13.7% of teams. The thing is though to think about is, before this game he hadn't scored for like 25 games or something like that, and he even said in an interview he's never scored more than 1 goal before. So don't expect him to be banging in hat-tricks every single week. Like, it's just not going to happen. He might not even score against Newcastle. He might not even score against Burnley. He is a player that I had last season for a few weeks and he just kept getting me 3 points. Mason Mount is quite an annoying player to have when he's not popping off, because he's in a really, really good squad, but he usually assists the assister, and that's what is annoying about having someone like that in FPL. But if he's pushing more forward because the likes of Werner and Lukaku are out, he could be a good option. You've also got Hudson-Odoi as well, which is also a very, very nice option. Those 3 up front were really, really good at the weekend. I mean, Havertz, okay, didn't get a return, but he still played okay. He was just bullied by the Norwich defence, really. They were just sticking to him like glue, which allowed Mason Mount and Hudson-Odoi to push forward so much. We've already been over the fixtures: Newcastle, Burnley, Leicester, United and Watford. I like Mount at the moment, but I don't think I would bring him in just off 1 game. Like, if he didn't score at the weekend, nobody would be bringing him in, and everyone would be like, if that's the thing, if Havertz got the hat-trick, every man and his dog would be bringing in Havertz instead of Mount. It's just the way it went. Like, it's unfortunate for Havertz owners, but yeah, I do like Mount as an option, but to bring him in just off 1 game after he hadn't scored in like 24, it's very knee-jerky, but he could be in really good form at the moment. Newcastle, Burnley, a really nice fixture to target. If Lukaku and Werner aren't back, then yeah, he is a good option in my opinion. But so is Havertz, so is Hudson-Odoi, and so is Kovacic as well. By the way, because he's just getting so many assists. He created the most chances as well against Norwich, so something to think about as well. You can't have every player on these transfer tips video though. Next up, we have another player to think about bringing in, and that is Hwang. The Wolves forward is still scoring goals, and he's so cheap. He's 5.7 mil. I don't know why he wasn't scoring in the Bundesliga, because the Premier League is harder to play in than the Bundesliga, but for whatever reason he's taken it by storm. A lot of people have Jimenez and are now downgrading to Hwang because you just save like 2 mil or near enough 2 mil, which is obviously a lot of money to put into the rest of your team. I am a Jimenez owner. I still have him. I would like to bring in Hwang for him, and then I could use that 2 mil elsewhere, but at the moment in time there's just other problems in my team. But yeah, Hwang, really, really nice option for 5.7 mil. He's got an XG of 2. His expected assists are only 0.4, but he's a striker. He's taken a lot of shots, which is what you want your striker to do. He's scored 4 goals so far this season. He hasn't got any assists. He's only owned by 8.8% of teams as well, so yeah, just below that 10% mark. But he is a nice option to have just because he's so cheap and he just keeps scoring. They've got some really nice fixtures coming up as well, especially game week 13 and 14. You really, really want to target those. So they've got Everton at home this weekend. Then they've got Crystal Palace away, which is a really nice fixture. West Ham United is arguably a tough fixture now. I mean, West Ham are just playing really, really well. So yeah, that's going to be a tough fixture. But then he has Norwich and Burnley. So you got 1 bad fixture in West Ham, but then Norwich and Burnley. I think Leeds fixtures get bad game week 15, so you'd really only be bringing in Hwang for these next 5, because then I think they've got the likes of like Liverpool, City, Chelsea, stuff like that. They've got some like nasty fixtures coming up after that. So yeah, if you do have any Wolves players you want to be getting rid around game week 15, but you do want them for Norwich and Burnley, because just the best fixtures back to back, like that's just what you want to target. But yeah, Hwang, really good option. Obviously he's not on penalties or anything like that, but he's playing like 80-90 minutes every single game. He's really cheap, he's scoring goals, so yeah, why wouldn't you want him in your team? Finishing things off though, a player to sell is Alonso. 3 Chelsea players in the video. Like, there could have been, this video could have just been Chelsea players, because like I said, I could have put in Azpilicueta to like hold, Reece James to buy, Hudson-Odoi to buy, Havertz to buy, obviously Mount, Chilwell, like it could have been full of Chelsea players. But yeah, Alonso is a player that you should think about selling, just simply because I think Chilwell is now the go-to left wing back for Chelsea. He's just, like I say, in the form of his life, and he just keeps scoring goals. Alonso is unfortunate because he did have a good he had a good season. Like he's been playing well. He's been unfortunate. His XG is 0.8, expected assist 0.8. He scored 1, he's assisted 1. He's still owned by 17.1% of teams, which is why I'm surprised. Like, sell him for like Chilwell, like just getting rid of him for Chilwell if you want. But again, wait for the cup game midweek against Southampton. But yeah, a lot of people are still holding Alonso for whatever reason. Like, maybe people think he's going to come back into contention for that left wing back role. But if Chilwell keeps scoring every single week and playing as well as he is, why would Alonso be back in the team? Like, Alonso is more likely to play the cup games, and then maybe Chilwell is just going to play Premier League and Champions League. Or if they're up like 3-0 like they were last weekend, then obviously Alonso will come on for him. But yeah, it just to me feels like Chilwell is the number 1 left wing back at the moment. So yeah, unfortunately, I think it is a sell for Alonso right now. Like I say, it's unfortunate. He's an expensive defender as well, 5.8 mil. So you don't really want that not being played every single week, and especially when Chilwell is the same price. It's one of those. It's just what you got to do. But yeah, I think it's a sell right now. You should probably be looking to get rid of Alonso at some point in the near future. But that is going to be everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 25 likes. Leave a comment. Who are you thinking of transferring in this week? Who are you thinking of transferring out? I'd love to know your thoughts. Subscribe if you're brand new. Remember to follow me on Twitter. Discord's in the description down below as well, where we can discuss everything FPL. But that's everything from me. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and until next time, peace.